Then what? Trunga asked. Girls, fighting at the drop of a hat? A brawl in the girls' dorm. Humans see blood and primal instincts kick in like me. It got messy, but we were fine. A few days later, we went out for hot pot together. But Hung Kwang, he's a coward, terrified. We asked for more 61,007 to play with, but he refused.
He was scared we'd kill a person next, not just a cat.
If I were him, I wouldn't give you poison to play with either, Trunga said sternly. He's not a coward, you guys were too reckless. So, unless it's someone he loves deeply, he wouldn't give up 61,007. I said softly. I just asked him and he didn't answer, but maybe he gave it to Ingo Khan recently. Trunga nodded. Thank you, Dr. Lin. I stood on the roadside, catching a motorbike. A light rain fell. Trunga and his officers went inside, probably asking the same questions. I got on the bike, hesitated, then messaged Ingo Khan on Zalo. She replied instantly, like she'd been waiting. I went to the coffee shop we agreed on. Hanoi in May was hot, but today was chilly, the night rain biting. I pushed open the door, ordered a black coffee, and sat in a dark corner like a cat stalking prey. At 1 a.m., Ingo Khan still hadn't shown. I called, she didn't pick up. The next morning, still half asleep, my phone blared. An unknown number. Wrong number. I snapped, about to hang up. Dr. Lin, it's me, Trungia's voice roared, furious. Open the door, I'm outside. I jolted awake, my hand trembling on the phone. Captain Gia, give me a sec to change. I washed my face, changed, and opened the door. Can I come in? Trunga asked, his voice hard as steel. Today, he was in uniform, looking stern and righteous like a cop from a crime drama. I nodded, inviting him and the two young officers in, offering them canned coffee from the fridge. Why do you call Ingo Khan yesterday? Trunga asked bluntly, his voice sharp. Normal life, love triangle, main character dead, meeting my rival to talk makes sense, right? I smirked. The law doesn't ban me from having coffee with her. You! The young officer clenched his fist, glaring like he'd devour me. What happened? I frowned, my heart uneasy. She's dead, Trunga said coldly. Dr. Lin, you're a suspect. I stepped close to Trunga, leaned in, and smiled softly. Where's the evidence? I saw anger flash in his eyes.
He stood, shouting, Dr. Lin, the law spares no one.
The law spares no one, but it misses everyone. I laughed coldly. If the law were fair, who gave justice to my child who died unjustly a year ago? Trunga stormed out, his steps heavy as lead. A week later, Min Tuan's case was closed. Ingo Khan loved Min Tuan to death, but he was with her only for revenge. For a year, he abused her, beat her, humiliated her. Desperate and in love, Ingo Khan poisoned him and then took her own life. She left a suicide note explaining everything like a tragic novel. I read the note. One part was for me. She wrote, if I can't have Min Tuan in life, I'll find him in death before you. This time, you won't win. It all seemed too perfect, like a movie script. I don't know what the police files said, but after the case closed, I claimed the insurance money, like hitting the jackpot. Hung Kwang was implicated and sold his pet hospital. I used the insurance money to buy it and quit my hospital job. I felt I no longer deserved to be a doctor saving lives. Now, my scalpel is for dogs and cats. My skills were good, so the pet hospital thrived. In a blink, 6 months passed. Hanoi winter, early morning. I woke up, put on a traditional dress, did my makeup, bought a bouquet of daisies at Quangba Flower Market, and drove to the cemetery. I placed the daisies before Min Tuan's grave, took out a bronze incense burner, and lit a stick of sandalwood. In the cold wind, the scent of daisies mingled with incense, drifting like a path to the void. Dr. Lin, someone called. I turned to see Trunga in a thick coat standing in the mist. Captain Gia, what are you doing here? Following you, Trunga said calmly. I froze, then laughed softly. Following me? Been in any murders lately? No, Tranga shook his head. I just have one question for Dr. Lin. What? I asked, surprised. I'm just a doctor, what do I know? That case 6 months ago was the most frustrating and murky of my career, Tranga sighed. I don't get it. You were the beneficiary. She was the victim, how did she end up the killer, then commit suicide? She didn't even give me a chance to question her. I wanted to keep investigating, but everyone said it was a clear case, so we closed it fast, he continued. Case closed, but I want to know, was that the truth? And if it wasn't? I asked back, my voice light as the breeze. Fibrosis, Tranga said suddenly. In medicine, there's a disease called amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. In that moment, my heart stopped, my limbs clumsy as if chilled by the wind. Sacrificing a lover powerful magic. Tranga laughed coldly. Dr. Lin, you didn't just avenge your child. You also tricked the insurance money, didn't you? I stared at Min Tuan's cold tombstone, silent, then said, Captain Gia, got evidence? You were right last time, he said. I have no proof. I found out Min Tuan's family has a history of genetic disease, so he likely had it. This disease is rare, many haven't heard of it. Muscles waste away, bones stiffen, no movement, but the mind stays clear. How terrifying. Like a living corpse, Tranga said, lighting a cigarette, smoke swirling like fog. I sighed. In medicine, brain death is death, even if the body lives, full of vitality. But if the body dies and the brain lives, what then? I said softly. No one can answer that. Many say it's impossible. But this disease is real. Writer Nam Ka wrote a story like this. It gave me chills. So you seize the moment while the body still moves, do something meaningful, then let go of the flesh. I continued. Did Min Tuan kill himself? Tranga frowned, asking. I didn't answer. I figured Tranga came to me now because he already had his answer. That night, you went to Hung Kwang on purpose, leading me astray from the start. Tranga's voice was calm, no longer angry. She loved Min Tuan as much as Hung Kwang loved her. I said, it's just a sad love story, love from nowhere, deep enough to die for. If I'm not wrong, after I left, Hung Kwang called her, confronted her, prepared his statement. He was ready to take the fall for her, like my case years ago, I said. Picking up a daisy from the ground, crushing it, red sap dripping like blood. His biggest role was likely giving false testimony, I added. Tranga's lips moved. Back then, Min Tuan gave false testimony. He did it to make Ingo Khan think he loved her and everything fell into place, I said. That's all. That night, you arranged to meet her, really to plant psychological suggestions? At the station gate too. Tranga asked. Did I overlook both your professions in this case? I looked at Min Tuan's photo on the tombstone, nodding slightly, as if confirming a secret. Last question, Tranga said. I checked your communication and movements. For a year, you and he had no contact. Even through mutual friends or colleagues? How did you coordinate so perfectly? Though our bodies lack phoenix wings to fly, our hearts share a silent understanding, I said. Captain Gia, at the wedding didn't you smell penicillin? Tranga stared at me, like he'd seen a ghost in broad daylight. You know Ingo Khan's allergic to penicillin, right? I said. That was our signal. Tranga nodded. Min Tuan was a hypnotist. Not as magical as in movies, but a year of preparation and suggestion was enough. After he died, you sped things up, pushing Ingo Khan to suicide, he said. The evidence chain was tight, but I could only watch. I couldn't even charge you with insurance fraud. You pulled off a perfect murder with no evidence. The incense burned out. I crouched, emptied the ashes, packed the burner, my movements slow, like a ritual. Dr. Lin, I'm being transferred to the Hanoi bureau. Goodbye, Tranga said. I hope you're this lucky next time. He walked away, his figure fading into the Van Deern mist. It was a strangely simple case. Min Tuan killed himself, but he arranged everything to frame Ingo Khan. Determined to die, he threw in an insurance scam, like one last gamble. Tranga was right. I was the beneficiary. But why did my heart feel like cold ashes? In Gokhan's suicide note said she'd find Min Tuan in death before I could. Love comes from nowhere, binding life and death. 100 years from now, in the underworld, Min Tuan, will you still recognize me? Thank you, dear listeners, for tuning in. Please subscribe to our channel to catch more thrilling stories.